What's going on, guys, and welcome to the long and extremely overdue episode number 6. In this episode we will be taking the starter motor off, the oil filter unit. We'll also be doing the bell housing bolts, and we'll also be tackling the front drive shaft, I believe. This episode was meant to be the removal of the engine, but for the simple fact that I don't like long videos, I've decided to cut this into like a mini little engine removal two-part series video. What's going on, man? We are taking the engine out today. You can tell my profession is not singing. Anyway, so we need to take out a few more things. Where we were last time was up in this shithole, up in this cheese. Right, we had to disconnect a whole pile of links. There's a link there, upper control arms, whole pile of stuff down here, brakes. I still need to get that out, which I'm not sure how to do yet, but we'll figure it out. In order to pull that out, the drive shaft, because the drive shaft goes through the sump. So in order to get the engine out, that needs to come out, because otherwise that shit ain't gonna work. But for the meantime, we're gonna start smacking these nuts on the back of the bell housing. So first things first. Sorry, I got something up in my grill. First things first, this unit here, this one, which connects to the here, that is the starter motor. So we need to take off this earth and what else? Take him off. Is he gonna come off? I don't know, we'll figure it out. But we need to disconnect that off, so that's free to move. And then we need to take that bolt out, and there's one straight down from it. And then from there, once that's disconnected, actually I don't even know if that needs to come out. Does it? Yeah, I think it does. Oh, we'll take it off just in case. Doesn't matter. And then we need to start getting the bolts at the back of the bell housing. So when they're on there, and then they go around. So we'll get underneath the car and take the rest out from underneath. And then from there, we can just make sure, go around the engine, make sure that there's no hoses or clips or anything. These are the NOx sensors right here. So there's one here and one here. That's already connected to this loom, which is disconnected, so that's not, and that goes down to the oil pump down there, so that's free. Don't have to worry about that. So we'll do that first, and then we'll get to the bell housing, disconnect that from the gearbox and the engine, separate those two, and then we'll see what we've got to work with. So this here is your starter motor. So the way it works is you've got the current that comes from the battery here. So this does some electronical business, which spins this. That's gears, which are connected into those gears down there. That's the flywheel. So the flywheel is obviously connected in line with everything else, so that gets the cylinders moving, and then with electronic fuel injection and the electronic spark. That's how you start your car, just like that. So now that we've got that out, we're going to move on to the rest of the ones on the bell housing. Oh shit! The rest of the ones on the bell housing. So rebuilding engine. So I've gotten some prices and stuff and how much everything's going to cost. Makes me want to cry, because I'm not the wealthiest of people. But get out, you mutt. What the fuck? Oh right. Oh okay. So once I get the block out, this is just for the block. This is excluding the cylinder head, which needs to be done as well. So the block is probably going to cost me somewhere in the ballpark of $1,000 to $1,500 to get it acid dipped, cleaned, tested, crack tested, balanced, get it decked, get it bored, get it honed, and then that's also to balance the rotating assembly, which in my situation I'm only going to be doing the crankshaft. So, and then if that needs a linish or needs to be grind, that's going to cost me extra. So it'll be somewhere around $1,000 to $1,500 depending on how much work needs to be done, and it may even cost a smidge more than that. And then the cylinder head will need to be to have similar things done, so cleaned and tested, make sure it's got no cracks, it's not warped, and then it needs to be faced, and then on top of that, because I know that I'm gonna have a straight new block, a straight new head. I'm also thinking that I may as well take a skim up, face the exhaust manifold, and then do the exhaust side on the head. The inlet wouldn't be too much of a worry, because that's not subject to extreme temperatures, whereas the exhaust is. This exhaust might come down, I think. Yeah, so for all the machining and stuff, it's probably going to cost $2,500. That's for the head, exhaust, manifold, the block, all that shit. So that in itself makes me very upset. So then from there, I thought about maybe because I'm already doing a full engine rebuild, I'm like, do I just go put ethanol in that shit as well, or I don't know what's going on here. I think this motherfucker's, whoever put this bracket on, just fucking threaded the cunt, because I can't get this shit off. I'm gonna get a ratchet, just hang on a second. Yeah, but now I'm like, do I just go E85 setup, or, because then if I do, then I probably gonna have to, I'm gonna have to get new fucking fuel lines, probably, well, depending on what power, probably maybe 2 fuel pumps, maybe a surge tank setup, which is more money. But then E85 means higher octane rating, which means detonation is less likely to occur, and I can run more boost, and we all like to run more boost. So I don't know, I'm kind of looking at it like, I haven't told you guys yet, but I'm going to be respraying this car here in my backyard, and I'm going to be showing you guys I'm probably going to fuck it up, because I've never done it before, but the benefit about doing it yourself is it don't cost that much money, especially if you've already got a painting gun and a air compressor, because I've already got that stuff. So all I need to do is pay for the paint, and then my time's free, obviously, because I'm doing it myself. I'm going to give you guys a quick show of what's happened, if you haven't been able to see. So you've taken that one out there, there's one up just the side here, I don't know whether you can see. It's kind of like just above that drive shaft. And then I've taken that one out on that side. There's actually not as many as I thought there was on the back of this. Anyway, so next we need to take off disconnect the drive shaft, and the drive shaft is this bar right here. So that's what, so you've got the engine, just what you're looking at, that's the sun, or the bottom of the engine. Goes into the gearbox, gearbox is right here, goes all the way to the back. You get to this unit here, this is the transfer case. So the transfer case has its own oil, gearbox oil, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's got its own, so it's I think it's always, by the looks of it, it's always kept separate. But that's the transfer case, so that is what transfers, according to what the ECU determines or whatever, that's what transfers the power to the front wheels. So it goes through this transfer case, then it goes to this front drive shaft. This front drive shaft goes in there, which that's the front diff, that unit which it goes in right there, which I need to disconnect these bolts right there that you see. So I need to take those out so that we can, so that's disconnected from the engine. And then from the transfer case, that's what delivers power to these front wheels. So that's what we need to take out right now. And then after that, I can't remember what this thing here is called. I think this is called the master slave cylinder. This thing right here, which has Nismo written on it, which makes me happy. I hope that's aftermarket or being replaced, whatever. Anyway, so we need to disconnect that. And oh no, we don't need to disconnect that. The fuck am I talking, man? I'm talking some crazy shit. I'm sorry if you guys are struggling to get a view here, because it's quite low down. It's not like I have like a fucking hoist or some shit where I can just stand under there and show you what's going on. Okay, so I had to take these engine mounts off. And I don't see the point, but my dad, the old man, says I need to take this oil filter unit off. I don't understand, but anyway, so there's underneath here, there's a nut on the other end of this stud, and same on the other side, so I've got to get under the car to do that. I don't understand why the fuck this has to come on. Oh, come on, man. So this here is the oil cooler. So what actually happens is this is where your oil filter goes on, and that's where it goes on the back of your engine. And it's actually got coolant that goes through and cools it. It's There's a factory oil cooler. So it just goes into that unit and cools it down. Okay, so that is part one of the mini two-part engine removal little series. What was that? Backyard mechanic? What is that in your box? On the hood? Oh, why don't you ask? It's funny that. I shall show you. Let's take a look. Oh, the CP forge? Yes, that's right. My partner here. Very good. Nice. First thing. Actually, we'll leave the best till last, shall we? The first parts of the project R32 GTR. So this is the head gasket. We have a 1.3mm thickness. The brand is Cometic, multi-layered steel. So it looks a bit like that. It's a bit, obviously it's thin, so it's hard to see the side, but you get the idea. Not going to open these boxes just because there's a lot of little parts in here. But we've got our bearings, ACL, race series. They are the, I'm not sure which one's what. Oh, hey, here we go. What do we got here? I don't know, I can't figure it out. One of them's the main bearings, one of them's the rod bearings. So they're nice and handy, got those ones. Next up, which wasn't actually part of this kit, but for the sake of this video I thought I'd chuck it in there anyway. We've got our ARP head bolts and main, oh sorry, studs? Bolts? Studs. Yeah, they're studs. These are studs, not bolts, my bad. Yeah, so we've got our head studs and main studs, both ARP. So these should be up to the job of doing the 700 horsepower goal, hopefully, something like that. Now we've got our spool connecting rods. These are a fully forged two-piece connecting rod. I'll open the box up so you guys can have a look. So we have fastening, ARP, some information, stickers. This is important. These are the exact measurements of these exact rods that I have. So that's handy, and keep that. That's important information. And here we have a connecting rod. So we'll open him out of the plastic bag, and then it's wrapped in like this paper thing. It's covered in, well, it's not covered, but it's got some oil in there. But this is our connecting rod. So two-piece. I don't know whether you guys, you can see it a bit here. You can see that that is where the half is, two-piece. These grooves are for the bearings, and then this is where the other half of the connecting rod goes to the pistons, and then you've got your big locking, I don't know what the name is, but it's like a big solid pin that goes through here, and then there's the ARP bolts. So this is a H-beam as well, so they're quite different. They're a lot stronger than your usual I-beam. The way that I was taught or know how to distinguish between the two is, if you imagine if you cut it in half and then you look at it like this way, it looks like a H, and whereas the other ones look like an I. It's a bit hard to imagine, but if you've seen them in person you can kind of picture it. Last but definitely the most important, we've got our CP pistons. So these are the locking rings. These are the oil control rings and compression rings all in here. I'm not going to open those because there's too many bits that can go missing, but you will see them eventually. Looks like there's a bit of condensation in here. Little booklet, stickers, important information about different measurements and dimensions of the pistons. And these are those locking pins that I was telling you about, so they go in that small hole on the connecting rod. I assume that these are forged, I'm not too sure, but I assume they're the same. They feel actually quite heavy. And now we've got, this is our piston, so we've got, there's actually a third layer which I'm not too sure what it is, but basically if you guys can see those lines, so the top two, or the first one is a compression ring, then there's one that's the next one down which I'm not sure about, then the one after that is another compression ring, and then the one down the bottom is an oil control ring. So these are fully forged a piston. These are 87 millimeters bore. I think millimeter is the measurement, and then the compression is 9:1, whereas standard is 8.5:1. But these are extremely light. They're probably about as light as a half-drunk Coke can, 375ml Coke can, I'd say. They're very light, which is what you want. Very shiny as well. So yeah. Alright guys, there you have it. There is the first part of many to come. Stay tuned for the second part of this mini little part of the engine removal. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Subscribe for more videos, and as always, we will see you on the next one.